Thank you, Christine, for your time. Would you explain to us Covo's approach to intersectionality and how this has shaped your programming?
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me in this important conversation. COVA has been involved in empowering women in Kenya, work that has seen us develop strong partnership with humanity and inclusion through the Making It Work project. Despite our extensive execution of programs that are aimed at the marginalized women and enhancing their human rights, such as women with disabilities and in particular women with intellectual disabilities, it is our partnership with Making It Work that has helped us interrogate the extent to which we had applied intersectional approaches to our programming. So as part of our partnership, Cover started using the Making It Work how to guide intersectionality in practice. So to bring intersectionality into our work in a more practical and deliberate way. This journey gave us two key perspectives. First, an inward look into ourselves. So we realized that before engaging with the guide, we weren't as intentional about intersectionality as we are now. So it pushed us to reflect on our understanding and our practices. And after that, secondly, we also learned how to embed intersectionality in the way we design and assess our projects. For example, we began asking critical questions about our data. Does it reflect the diversity and complexity of the communities we serve? Are we capturing the experiences of the people at the different intersections, such as gender, disability, ethnicity, or economic status? So let me take the example we implemented during COVID-19 response when we provided cash transfer to women with disabilities in Nairobi's informal settlements. We initially thought this would be a straightforward, but since we had worked with these women before, but we quickly realized that addressing the needs of women with intellectual disability actually required a deeper, more nuanced approach. And this was the turning point for us, actually. So engaging into intersectionality starts with questioning your own diversity, your own biases, and in project design. So we realized that women with different types of disabilities, like physical disability compared to intellectual disability, face different challenges. And staff need to understand these different differences and also respond effectively. So we had assumed that simply by targeting women with disabilities, this meant we were being inclusive, but we came to later on learn that women with intellectual disabilities and even their caregivers do engage in business despite often being overlooked by both organizations like ours and other institutions. So this reflection really helped us to see how exclusion can happen even when we think we are being inclusive. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Dear Christine, would you tell us what did an intersectional lens bring to your study of economic exclusion of women in Nairobi's informal settlements?
Thank you so much for that important question. So in 2022, COVA partnered with Making It Work initiative to assess the economic exclusion of women in Nairobi's informal settlements, applying an intersectional lens. So the goal of this was to understand how different aspects of identity like disability, refugee status, ethnicity, religion, or sexual orientation shape women's ability to run sustainable businesses. So this approach allowed us to go beyond general categories and identify the real barriers women face. So we found that while Kenya has social protection programs and funds meant to empower women, these often fail to include those who are most marginalized, like single mothers, with or without disabilities, refugees, or queer women, because policies don't account for multiple identity factors beyond gender, and because women with diverse identity face intersectional discrimination that is often overlooked. So, for example, refugee women struggle to access economic support due to lack of documentation, They face harassment and exclusion from both authorities and their own communities. And this is worsened if they have a disability. Women with disabilities not only lack access to training and business opportunities, but they also have to deal with stigma, safety concern, and mobility issues, factors that limit their ability to work during peak hours. Uh, Ethnic favoritism in fund distribution and also cultural biases further exclude women from certain communities. For example, Somali women or women perceived to be from the lesbian, bisexual, and trans community, they're excluded from support systems and opportunity. Similarly, women with disabilities are also not intentionally included in some women-led community support systems, which locally here we call chamas, self-help groups. So through applying an intersectional lens, we're able to uncover these layered forms of discrimination and understand why some women are left behind, even in programs that are meant to include them. This approach is not just about diversity, it's about visibility, equity, and designing solutions that truly reach those that are at the margins and therefore consider effective solutions for intersectional inclusion. Thank you.
So, Christine, from your perspective, what final message would you like to leave with the audience?
Thank you so much. As my concluding remarks, I would like to draw attention to the fact that conversations on intersectionality are not a preserve of women's rights organizations or NGOs like COVA and HI. Women rights defenders like Sophie, myself, Leila, Suzanne, Ariel, Mara, or Lucy. So adopting an intersectional lens is a responsibility of all of us. All of you gathered here in Luxembourg this evening. Failure to consider intersectionality might render efforts to promote gender equality and inclusion in general of little impact. At COVAL, we have decided to be intentional, to center the voices and experiences of the most marginalized as they're often excluded from mainstream conversations. We have embraced diversity and intersectionality, and that is why I, Christine, a professional, educated, privileged mother of two in her early 40s, can navigate my different identities to comfortably render services to the communities that COVAL serves. Our commitment to diversity is further reflected in the top leadership as we have Frida, an educated young mother with disability, ably steering the COVAL ship as the executive director. So to conclude, diversity in leadership is one component of intersectional approach that is much needed to ensure we contribute to inclusive societies in Luxembourg, in Kenya, and globally. Thank you.